Jai Hind, guys. So, my friends, there's me, your patriotic friend, your follower, your felicitates message in Tammany. Having a distinct honor and privilege, to present to you to my channel, and to welcome back to you, welcoming back everyone, to my channel, And on this particular channel, guys, I would like to, even like sort of, share some of the patriotic updates. But guys, at this very moment, guys, the thing, which I gotta tell you is that as I already had an address before it, the thing which I got to tell you is that we as human beings, or rather we as Indians, or rather we as youth, guys, the things whatsoever we need to do, and the spirit of cooperation or the summoning of patriotism, which we ourselves need to do, and we need to stand unified, guys, amongst ourselves, guys, to basically, stand strongly, guys, against all the evils, against all the odds, against the slaughterhouse, against the meat industry, I'm not against the meat industry, but against the slaughterhouse, against the vast degree of exploitations of men and women, guys, which is basically taking place in the peninsular continent of India, against the molestation, against the against the public executions, against even the female genocide, against even the infanticide, against even the vast degree of unemployment, in our country, even about the fiscal deficit, which we used to have. There is no doubt, guys, that current government, it happens to be really nice, and it happens to be simply effective. And there is nothing, guys, like going in a left or right. What is like going up or down? Like current government is, simply, elevating itself, and the current government, happens to be absolutely essential and absolutely prolific, guys, when it comes about governing our country, governing our nation efficiently and even professionally. But guys, what we need to do, we as students, we as young Indians, we as boys and girls, is that, guys, obviously, we have so much, we have really, confined ourselves, but majority of the things, which are simply, helping us, like we as boys and girls, guys, are into a lot of things, guys, which simply, happen to be our pleasures, our our priorities, our acquisitions, our needs, our wants, and the needs for our family. Like those are also absolutely good things. But guys, what I need to tell you guys and what I need to communicate, or rather the way in which I need to summarize, that we as Indians, should never really confine ourselves, with those things. What we need to do is, we shouldn't even restrict it, or we shouldn't even abolish those things. We should keep doing it. But guys, the thing is that when it comes about the institute, when it comes about the incursion of the universalistic integrity, or rather the statesmanship of a particular Indian. Now, guys, every Indian man or woman or a boy and a girl, guys, whatsoever, maybe whichever religion, whichever caste, whichever community, whichever ethnicity, whichever orientation, or whatsoever that is, guys, or whichever region or geographic place, he or she belongs to, or even for the transgenders, whatever. What we need to do is, guys, we simply, need to, work together in a spirit of cooperation, guys. And what I gotta say is, guys, that we as youth, as we have simply, confined ourselves, with so many things, which are just, helping us. What we need to do is, guys, we need to, take a moment, have a standing ovation, and think a lot about our country. What we need to do, guys, is that we need to think about our country. We need to think about its development. We need to think about its embellishment. We need to think about the improvisations of India, guys, in multiple sectors, guys. As I told you, the public transportation. As I told you, the meat industry is basically slaughtering innocent animals, slaughtering innocent cows, innocent goats, innocent chickens. We need to put a ban onto it. What we need to do is, guys, we need to institutionalize the lab-grown meat. The other things are obviously domestically you are unable to communicate properly. Domestically you are even unable to have that freedom of expression. You even don't have a free will, guys, to go and talk to whomsoever you want. Let's say at a shopping center, or let's say at a public piazza, let's say at an airport, a medical stores, inside a college campus, whatsoever. Like you guys, my friends, you might be thinking that you can go and talk to your friends, or your friends, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, or whatever, anyone. Okay, that's good. But guys, what I gotta say is that each and everyone, who comes in our life, guys, maybe that would be a girl, or maybe that would be a boy, you suddenly, met somewhere at a grocery store, or whether, suddenly, whether you accidentally, happen to, cross the path, with that boy or a girl, anywhere. But, you wish to talk to that fellow, but you are unable to talk to that fellow, because you're thinking that, you are in the public place, and you are in the public domain, and, which is why you cannot simply, open your mouth, and, which is why, you stay, which is why you plan to be, really, like an introvert. You don't talk. Originally, guys, if you don't wish to connect with a person, guys, and if you're not connecting, then it's a fine thing, guys. Then it's normal. But guys, with the people, which you wish to connect, and if you are unable to connect with those people, then it's a great issue. And for I'm sorry, for coming up with a solution, guys, and against that, what I've come across is the domestic interactivity intermediaries. And what it basically means is the domestic interactivity intermediaries happens to be an element, guys, which basically, opts for institutionalization of the domestic interactivity correspondence, guys, at the vast places, guys, at a megalopolis, or rather in a public domain, or rather at a public piazza. And those are going to be the domestic interactivity correspondence, guys, and which are basically going to be really good, guys, and when it comes about their spokesmanship, which are even going to be really good when it comes about communicating, and even talking, with each and everyone, each and everyone, in a profession manner, or rather in a salient manner. So, guys, that happens to be the thing about the domestic interactivity intermediaries. But basically, those are correspondents, are going to help you, each and everywhere, in the street, wherever you go, no matter wherever you go and whatever you do, those domestic interactivity correspondents are simply, going to help you, to communicate, or rather connect with a person, with which or whom you wish to go and talk to. Basically, what a domestic interactivity intermediary, or that correspondent, or that man or woman is going to do is, he's going to be a nexus, or he's going to be a bridge, or rather going to be a middleman, or rather be a mediator, between you and that another person. So, guys, domestic interactivity intermediaries, should work in such a manner, guys, that whenever you gotta go to a shopping center, a movie theater, medical stores, or rather an airport, or rather whatever thing, a hospital or stuff, whatever. There are some certain times, guys, in our life, where we, wish to go and speak to one particular person, or maybe, you would be, instantaneously, attracted to some particular person, maybe some beautiful looking girl, or maybe some handsome looking boy. But guys, you simply, can do nothing about it. What I wish to, come up with is, guys, that, we as Indians, should learn to communicate with each other. So, guys, my solution for that is the domestic interactivity intermediaries. So this is not an official solemnatic way of unveiling it to the public, but what I need to do is basically, what I have come with, the domestic interactivity intermediaries, for helping and engaging people to have a great unification, guys, amongst themselves, to help them, to speak to the people, to speak to the person, whomsoever they want, to help the people, guys, in establishing an synchronous, or rather than communication, or rather a nexus, or having an amnesty, or rather having an amity, guys, between you and that person. So, guys, for that, I have drafted the domestic interactivity intermediaries. And so soon, guys, some high-level discussions are going to begin, guys, about that topic, guys, for the institutionalization of the domestic interactivity intermediaries, guys, in the public domain of India and even worldwide, basically depending upon the amnesty, between the nations. But, guys, what I gotta say is that, that was the thing, which we did, or rather which I as an individual did. Guys, what we need to deal with is that, what if I could work with you, or what if you could work with me, or what if, we all could work together. We all could work together, guys, in order to resolve all the issues and all the problems and all the pain and agony, which is caused by the Indian citizens, or human beings in general, guys. But how beautiful is that? But for that, guys, what we need to do is, we as youth, we as youngsters, we as boys and girls, need to communicate, or need to, patriotically align ourselves, guys, to the Tiranga. We need to patriotically align ourselves to the man with the great beard, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. We need to align ourselves, with Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, with Sri Maharana Pratap, with Sri Arun Jaitley-ji, even with the President Ronald Reagan, who was basically American, with people like Jhansi Ki Rani, Baba Saheb Purandare, even great patriotic leaders like that. We need to, patriotically align ourselves with that. Basically, guys, it's been like 3 years, guys, since Shri ARUN JAITLEY has passed away. But guys, I simply, know I right now know firsthand basis that who are the people, who miss him every day, who miss every moment at their every moment, guys. They miss Shri ARUN JAITLEY, they miss Manohar Parrikar, they even miss probably Lal Bahadur Shastri, Subhash Chandra Bose, Madan Lal Dhingra, even Chandrasekhar Azad, Lokmanya Tilak, Swatantra Veer Savarkar, Tanaji Malusare, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Maharana Pratap, even all great warriors like that. But guys, what I gotta say is that we as youth, simply should pay a lot of attention, guys, to all these people like Jhansi Ki Rani. And I'm simply not trying to play with gender biasing, guys. We both boys and girls, should unify, and we should work, together in a spirit of cooperation. We should engage ourselves, in such a manner, guys, and all that. It's going to be so useful, for our India. Those are the things, which we need to do for our India. Those are the things, which we need to do for our mother. You all, guys, you care about your mother and your father, basically your physical parents. But what about this mother? What about this land, guys? What about this land, which basically gave you birth? What about this place where you stay? What about that place, from Jammu Kashmir to from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari? Basically, India was even bigger than that. Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, guys. And what about that? What about that place? Who is that? What is that? Is that simply a land? Is that simply a thing, which is not a living being? It's not like that, guys. Basically, there are great values and sentiments, even attested, guys, to things, which are not living. Like, you might think that non-living things like a computer or camera or whatever, a refrigerator does not have feelings. Now, I don't wish to comment on that. But guys, things like this, like our land, our bhumi, which we call in Hindi, guys, what is that? Isn't that our parent? Isn't that our nurturer? Isn't that our chaperone? Guys, that is the spirit of patriotism, which we need to engage with, guys. Together, we need to make our country great. Together, we need to engage in a great spirit of cooperation with the other all countries and other all nations, and create a great world and create a great Mother Earth. And the amnesty between the nations, even if it lasts, or even if that does not last, what we need to do is we need to call it as the Indian Revolution. That is the Indian Revolution. That is the Universatileistic Revolution. That is the revolution of Sri Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. That's the revolution of Jhansi Ki Rani. And my dear girls and my dear boys, please do not feel that I'm trying to basically raise in supremacy over a certain gender. For you, my dear girls, there is Jhansi Ki Rani. For you, my dear boys, there is Lokmanya Tilak. But why do you need to synchronize a gender with that exactly? Why do you need to synchronize? Why do you need to be so gender biased? What I need to tell you, my dear girls, especially, is that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Maharana Pratap, Lokmanya Tilak, even Subhash Chandra Bose or ARUN JAITLEY, maybe even if their gender was different than you, but those people were simply the founding fathers of India. And what I need to tell to you, not just girls but even boys, and we never should have really any gender idols and stuff, guys. Just simply think about it in such a manner, guys, that any lady or any man is going to inspire us. Anyone can inspire us, guys. But that's the thing. From now onwards, guys, what we need to do is we simply should not restrict ourselves to our mom and dad. We should absolutely love our parents. We should love and cherish and nurture and help and, be a cicerone and chaperone, to your mom, your daddy, your grandfather, your grandmother, whomsoever. But, what about this? What about this, guys? What about this? People might say that this is a marble, this is a piece of land, this is a piece of geography. That's not a real estate entity, guys. That is the nation, that is the Bharat Mata, that is the thing, which has brought us into our life. Our parents, guys, have given us birth biologically. But what about our patriotic alignment, guys? Who has done that? That is the God and that is the nation. And guys, God and nation, go hand in hand. God is not different from nation. So guys, whether you might be polytheistic or monotheistic, I don't have any issue. But what we need to do is, we need to support our God and our country. I don't wish to, talk about religion, but guys, we need to, engage in a spirit of cooperation, guys, and, stand together, guys, and unify ourselves. And guys, we need to create a revolution. Young boys and girls like you and me, guys, should be good enough to say that, I'm going to be next Lokman Chak, I'm going to be next Subhash Chandra Bose, I'm going to clean my country, I'm going to make my country even more beautiful than Britain, I'm going to make my country, more. I'm going to make my country, more proficient at its educational institutions. I'm going to make my country more hygienic. I'm going to make my country more safer for boys and girls to walk in the night. I'm going to make my country, completely, completely free from criminal activities. I'm going to make my country, free from any slaughterhouse, which is killing and murdering the innocent animals, just simply, for the sake of, consumption of their meat. That's the wrong thing, guys. I'm not against eating meat. I have eaten meat in my childhood, but I have been a complete vegetarian now. But what I gotta say here is, guys, that you and me, it's you and me, who need to make a difference. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, guys, made our country the greatest. But guys, his regime is over. What we need to do is, we need to be young Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and we need to be young Maharana Pratap, and we need to be young Jhansi Ki Rani, or rather, we need to be young Arun Jaitley-ji. So my fellow Indians, or my fellow human beings, or my fellow inhabitants of this Mother Earth, what I wish to ask for you is a spirit of cooperation. Let's engage together. Let's work in unity, and let's transmogrify our country. Let's do great for our country. See you and bye bye.